Most people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75. Don't let that be you. I am sitting here listening to the rain tap against the glass. It is a cold sound, a lonely sound. I spent 40 years climbing the corporate ladder, fighting for titles, fighting for corner offices, fighting for a paycheck that I thought would finally make me happy. I climbed with everything I had. I sacrificed weekends. I sacrificed friendships. I sacrificed the sound of my daughter's laughter. And only when I reached the very top, tired, gray, and alone, did I realize the terrifying truth. I had leaned my ladder against the wrong wall. Now, at 82, looking back at the wreckage of my time, I see clearly what I missed. The fog has lifted, but the ship has already sailed. Today, I will share the 7 brutal truths about life that nobody tells you until you are old. These are not just words. These are the scars on my soul. These are the lessons I paid for with my life, so you don't have to pay with yours. Listen closely to truth number 4. It would have saved my marriage if I had learned it sooner. Truth number 1. Your salary is the bribe they give you to forget your dreams. We are taught from childhood to trade our time for money. We are told that security is the highest god. But money is just paper. It can be printed. It can be borrowed. It can be lost and made again. Time is the fire in which we burn. Once an hour is gone, no amount of wealth can buy it back. I remember my 35th birthday. I was supposed to be at dinner with my wife. Instead, I was in a fluorescent-lit office, eating a cold sandwich, finishing a report for a boss who didn't even know my wife's name. I told myself I was doing it for the family. That was a lie. I was doing it for my ego. I was doing it because I was afraid to be free. I worked 60 hours a week for a company that replaced me in 2 weeks after I retired. They cleared my desk before. The coffee in my mug had even developed mold. Do not build someone else's castle while yours remains a ruin. Find what makes you feel alive, even if it scares you. Especially if it scares you, because a tombstone never lists your bank account balance. It only lists 2 dates and the dash in between. Don't let your dash be empty. Truth number 2. Someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. We live our lives in a waiting room, waiting for Friday, waiting for summer, waiting for promotion, waiting for retirement. How often have you said, "I'll travel when I retire"? I'll say I love you when the time is right. I'll write that book when I have more quiet. I had a friend named Thomas. He kept a bottle of expensive vintage wine in his cellar. He said he was saving it for a special occasion. He saved it for 20 years. Thomas died of a heart attack on a Tuesday morning while brushing his teeth. He never opened the wine. His children drank it at his funeral. The Stoics knew that the future is not promised. Seneca said, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." There is no later. There is only now. The coffee in your cup, the sun on your face, the person sitting next to you, this breath. If you are always chasing the future, you are already dead to the present. Don't be like Thomas. Drink the wine. Take the trip. Say the words. Truth number 3. You will stop worrying what others think of you when you realize how seldom they do. This is the prison of the mind, the invisible audience. I spent decades afraid of embarrassment. I didn't dance at parties because I thought people would laugh. I didn't speak up in meetings because I thought I would sound foolish. I wore clothes I hated because they were in style. I bought cars I couldn't afford to impress neighbors I didn't even like. I was an actor on a stage, performing for a crowd that wasn't even watching. But here is the secret that sets you free. Everyone is too busy worrying about their own life to judge yours. They are worried about their own bills, their own insecurities, their own reflection in the mirror. You are the main character only in your own movie. In theirs, you are just an extra in the background. Maybe you have one line of dialogue. Maybe you are just a blur. This realization is not sad. It is liberating. Be free. Dance poorly. Speak your truth. Wear what feels like you. Their judgment cannot harm you because their judgment does not exist. It is a ghost you created to haunt yourself. Truth number 4. Being right is less important than being kind. This is the one that haunts me. This is the ghost that stands by my bed at night. In my marriage, I fought to win arguments. I was a lawyer in my own home. I used logic like a weapon. I would cross-examine my wife until she had no words left. I proved I was right about the finances. I proved I was right about the directions. I proved I was right about the schedule. I won the battles, but I lost the war. I remember one night, we argued over something so small, the color of a new sofa. I wouldn't let it go. I pushed and pushed until she cried and went to sleep in the guest room. I sat in the living room, feeling triumphant. I was right, but I slept in a cold bed, and that coldness grew. It grew until it became a wall we could not climb over. You can win the argument and lose the relationship. Ask yourself, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Is your ego worth the silence that follows? Swallow your pride. It tastes bitter going down, but the fruit is sweet. Apologize even when it's not fully your fault. Hug them while you still can, because one day that chair across from you will be empty. And being right will mean absolutely nothing when you are speaking to a gravestone. Truth number 5. A healthy man wants 1,000 things. A sick man only wants one. When we are young, we think we are invincible. Our bodies are just machines that carry our heads around. We treat them like rental cars. I traded sleep for productivity. I traded walks for television. I traded real food for convenience. I thought I could get away with it. I thought I could trade my body in later. But the body keeps the score. You cannot cheat the ledger of nature. The bill always comes due, and the interest rate is high. I remember the day the doctor looked at my chart and took off his glasses. The silence in that room was louder than any scream. In that moment, all my awards, all my money, all my urgent projects, they turned to dust. All I wanted was one more day without pain. All I wanted was the breath I had taken for granted 1,000,000 times. Take the walk, feel the air in your lungs, eat the food that grows from the earth, sleep. Your body is the only house you have to live in. It is the only vessel for your soul. Don't burn it down for warmth. Truth number 6. You cannot control what happens to you, only how you react. Life is not a calm river. It is an ocean. There will be storms. Life will break you. You will lose people you cannot live without. You will fail at things you worked hard for. You will be betrayed. That is not your fault. That is the nature of the world. But if you stay broken, that is your choice. I spent years angry at the world, angry at the economy, angry at the traffic, angry at the weather. I was a slave to my circumstances. If the day was rainy, I was sad. If the news was bad, I was anxious. I gave the key to my happiness to everyone else. The Stoics teach us we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Epictetus said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of things." Do not let anxiety about tomorrow steal the peace of today. When the storm comes, be the rock, not the leaf. Accept what comes with dignity. Say to the universe, "Is this all you have? I can bear this." Truth number 7. Death is not a tragedy. Living a life you regret, that is the tragedy. We live as if we are immortal. We push the thought of death into the darkest closet. But death is not the enemy. Death is the frame that makes the picture beautiful. Memento mori. Remember you must die. This is not morbid. It is the fuel for life. If you knew, truly knew, that you had 1 hour left on this earth, would you still be angry at your neighbor? Would you still worry about that rude comment on the internet? Would you still care about the stain on the carpet? No. You would focus on love, on beauty, on the color of the sky, on the sound of your loved one's voice. So why wait for the last hour? Why do we wait for the tragedy to wake us up? Live that way now. Love that way now. Forgive that way now. Walking away is painful, but nothing is more painful than staying where you do not belong. Take a look at your life today. Right now, what are you holding on to that is hurting you? What grudge? What fear? What false dream? Be brave enough to let go. Your future self is begging you. I am an old man now. My time is nearly spent. But yours is just beginning. Do not waste it. If this message found you at the right time, subscribe and share this wisdom with someone who needs to wake up. Don't make my mistakes. Live now.